Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel. Please like and comment if this video helps you and subscribe to this channel to get updates about the new content.
In this video, I will show how to install a Nginx web server on a Google VM instance using Google Cloud Platform UI. I'm now logged into my Google Cloud Platform console, and as we can see, I have a project called Workshop Demo, and I can see a dashboard for my project. Let's go to the compute engine. I can go directly from here, go to compute engine, or I can go to the navigation menu and inside under compute, I can say compute engine VM instance. This has opened my compute engine VM instance dashboard. To create an instance, I simply click on create instance, which is going to give me a web form to fill all the values, and Google will create a VM for me. So let's begin with filling this form. This is the name of instance which is gonna live for the complete life cycle of the instance. So I can simply give Nginx web server. Can provide the labels as well to identify your application. So I can put application Nginx and save. Now I can choose my region where my VM instance should live. So I will choose Europe West to London and a zone Europe West to C. The machine configuration could be a different one, a general purpose or a memory optimized if my application is memory heavy, or a compute optimized. For this demo perspective, I'm going to just use general purpose, and that too a machine type of very small machine F1 micro, which has a 1 CPU and 614 memory. Now Google allows to choose a different boot disk. There are some public images. If you have a custom images, you can see it from here, or a snapshot or so on. I will use a public image, that too for a Debian operating system. There are other options available, and Debian 9. I can also increase the disk size if I need to, but I will leave it to a 10 gig, which is sufficient for this demo prospect. Now under service account, we can choose what service account we want to attach to this VM instance. I will leave for the default at the moment, and access scope allows which APIs I can access from this VM instance. So I will leave that as a default. Then the firewall rules, what firewalls are needed to be on this web server. I will leave this as a blank, and we'll see later in the video how this affects the connection to our web server. So this is a simple form which we have filled. Now, if we want to create the VM instance using a REST API in your favorite programming language, it also gives a REST equivalent which can be used, or a command line command to create the similar VM using the G Cloud. But for now, I'm going to hit on create to create the VM instance using the UI. So as we see now, the Nginx web server is coming up. It might take a few seconds to come up. So it has now come up. So it's a plain VM instance which has a Debian 9 operating system. I'm going to SSH into it and install software packages. Now I'm logged into the VM instance. First, I will update the apt and then install Nginx software package. I will restart the Nginx server. So Nginx should be running. Now let's run ps command to check the Nginx process. So we see the process is running, and we can quickly check if it's listening on port 80 for this process. So yeah, it's listening, and we can do quickly a curl command to verify we are getting the Nginx web server. So yeah, so the Nginx web server is running. We are able to connect to it internally. Now let's go to the web UI and see if we are able to browse the UI from here. Now we are trying to open the port 80 web page, but it's not coming. The reason being, we have not allowed any traffic on port 80 from the workstation to this web server which lives within the Google. Remember, we unticked the allow HTTP traffic under the firewall. That's the reason we haven't set any firewall rules. So let's go edit this VM and set the firewall rules. So click on edit and we can say allow HTTP traffic. If the application has traffic on port 443, we can say allow HTTPS. But for this demo, we just need allow HTTP traffic. And I'm going to save this thing. Now this is saved, and we can see it has allowed HTTP traffic, and we can see the Nginx web page. So this is a one way to deploy a web server on Google VM instance. In this method, we logged into the web server manually and ran all the steps manually one by one. We can also create a script which runs as and when the VM comes up and install all these things for us. So let's see the second approach of using the script. Again, I'm going to click on create instance. I will say web server 2, fill the label application as web server, click on save. Again, the same region, and probably choose a different zone. F1 micro. I will leave the image and everything as it is. I will click allow HTTP traffic for now. So under this section, what I can do is I can provide a startup script. So once the VM is up, it is going to run this script and do all the things which we define in the script. So I'm going to put us the same step which we did as a script here with some comments and click on create. The web server is now coming up. So web server is up. Now it will install the Nginx package. We can track that using this clicking on the serial port 1, which is going to show us the console output, what this VM is doing at this stage. And we can click on refresh to see. So we have seen it says installation complete, startup script complete, which means it has run our script successfully. Now let's get the VM's IP and see if it's showing us an Nginx page. Get a welcome to Nginx web page, which means it has installed the Nginx web server using the startup script. That's all for this video.
Thank you for watching this video. Please like and comment to provide the feedback. Finally, please subscribe to this channel to get the latest updates.